So, for me to come from the streets to working for Channel 4, I worked for Channel 4, like I said, go back to the point, 2.5 years. For me to do that means I have to be squeaky clean. I have a CRB check done every 6 months. Yeah? So, I've kind of tipped the scales a little bit. Okay? My own gym in Sheffield, I've owned for 7 years. Now, I want to sell that up now, and all I want to do is to help you guys make the right decisions with your lives and help you go in the right direction, because there is some wrong directions. You don't want to hit those crossroads. You just want to be focused on what you want to do with your lives. Anybody want to ask any questions? Please do not be shy. Nobody? Girls, how about you? Sorry, young man.
How long did you get sent to prison for?
I was sentenced to 3 years and got parole. It's the first time I got sent to prison. The charge for what I got for was GB8 Section 18, grievous bodily harm with intent to do serious damage. Basically, what I did was, there was 3 particular guys in the estate who bullied me. One day, I decided to take revenge, and I took a baseball bat, and the rest is history. And I got sent to prison. Never been to prison before. The judge said because of the severity of the crime, they sent me to a long-termist prison. So the prison that I went to was for people who were doing 5 and over. I was only doing 2 years, but because of the crime that I did, I had to get to a long-term prison. So I was with some serious lifers. And that's another reason I didn't go back, because, you know, I was petrified. My first day there in prison, you have to wear dungarees. So everybody knows it's your first day. So putting on those, I remember when I got sentenced in Nottingham, basically you get sent to Lincoln, and then you go to your next prison. And I remember being on that bus, and I cried all the way there. You know, and I thought I was some hard man, living on the streets, you know, selling drugs, in a gang, you know, had a gun put to my head, all of that kind of stuff. So nothing scared me. But when I realised that my freedom had been taken away from me, cried like a baby. Cried like a baby. So, you know, prison, it's a one thing. Some people learn, some people don't. Some people go back and back and back. Anybody else? Ah, now the hands are coming up. Go on.
How old were you when you went to prison?
It was 1984. So let's work it out. I was about 23 when I went to prison. Yes, young man?
Do you know how you were in prison? The person what?
George, the lifer.
Yeah.
He's now out of prison.
Are you friends with him?
I have been trying to get in touch with him because I'm writing my autobiography and I want him in it because he saved my life to a certain degree. Yes, young man?
Do you have like any brothers or sisters?
I have, altogether, my father has 23 children. So yes, he was a busy man. I have 6 sisters. I am the only boy. Say again. Do I see them? Some of them I see, some of them I don't see. But the majority of them, yes, I see. They're all scattered around in Nottingham. Anybody else? Come on, girls, let's have your hands up. Young lady, do you want to ask anything? Go on, young man. Do you want to ask something else?
No, me.
Yeah.
No.
You wanted to ask something? Yes.
Yeah, did they get beat up?
Did they get beat up? My sister, who's 2 years older than me, we were the both who got most of the beatings. The younger sisters didn't get any. My sister, who's 2 years older than me, used to get beaten with the television wire. Regular on my television wire. Yeah?
Should have back up.
And majority of the time, sometimes she used to take a beating for me because, you know, there were so many bruises on me. When I was 13 years of age, just here, you see that mark? I was 13. I was at the Goose Fair, which is on the forest. I should have been home at 9 o'clock. I came home at 9:05. My father was standing on the door, waiting for me to come. My friend says, oh, those days they call me Brian, because my name's Vincent O'Brien. Come, Brian, your dad's outside, you're in trouble. Got to the door. In those days, you've got to open fire. My father had the poker in the fire, took the poker out of the fire. When I walked in the door, grabbed hold of me and beat me with the poker. And scolded me to say, never do that again. That's how bad my parents were. Okay. Yes. Has anything happened to my parents? Say that again. No. Those days, social services and all that system was not there. We had no help whatsoever. We had to do it on our own. Yes, young man.
When you talk about bullying in school, like teachers helping?
No. I'll give you an example of the reasons why. When I was at school, there was only 2 mixed-race kids in the school in the 60s. Yeah? So we were the minority. And we got more bullying from blacks than we did whites. Because if we mixed with whites, the blacks didn't like it. If we mixed with the blacks, the whites didn't like it. So there was only 2 of us, and we got bullied every single day, without a shadow of a doubt. Hence the reason why I got expelled from school was because I was always late. Because I decided to be late because I had to run that gauntlet. I didn't want to. I used to get beaten before going into class. So I used to wait for them to go to class and then turn up. So one day, the deputy headmaster turned around to me and said, I want you in the office, and said, you've been expelled. But before he did that, the deputy headmaster decided to put his hands on me and shake me. And because of all the stuff that I went through with my parents, I rebelled at that point. It was the wrong time to rebel. And I went for him. Didn't hit him, but I went for him. And that's the reason why I got expelled. I came out of school with no education whatsoever. I was a dunce at school. Everything that I've learned today, I've self-taught myself. Yeah, so when I go back to that point that I was making earlier, education is very important. Those days, it wasn't. We were working at the age of 15. Today, it's different. Education is very important. So please, take on board what these teachers are trying to teach you. Yes?
How long were you homeless for?
2.5 years I lived on the streets. So that means I ate out of bins, skips, and yes, I have eaten a maggot sandwich, didn't realise there were maggots in it, and I spit them out of my mouth. My book will be called From Maggots to Moet. Any other questions? Yes, young lady.
You know, after that, after you're home for years and how did you recover? How did you fix the situation? Like,
when I was in the prison and George the lifer told me if I was to come back he was going to kill me, I think that was enough to make me realise that I needed to book myself up. So what I decided to do was, when I got off the drugs, I locked myself away for 2 weeks. I didn't do it through methadone or anything like that. Locked myself, and then I got into training. And I just trained 3 times a day, 7 days a week. And then became a personal trainer. Yes, young man.
how old are you now?
How old do you think I am? Have a guess. And if you guess rightly, I might give you something.
30 something. Get right.
30 what? You know what? I like you all, but you're way off the mark. 54. Yes, 54 years of age. And the reason why I look so good now, I'm going to blow my head up now, is because I look after myself. I have a very good diet and I train all the time. I train twice a day, 7 days a week. Yes. No. No way. The only reason why they didn't is because they were going to get a worse beating than I got. And when we got beaten back in the days, it was not with a hand. It was with a thick belt with a buckle on the end, or the TV wire, or the poker. Yes, young man. There was a time when I went for my mother. At the age of 14, my sisters came in. As a matter of fact, my sisters used to tell my mum and dad things so I could get a good hiding, by the way. I went in and told her that they see me kissing some girl on the park. It wasn't even me. Well, I walked into the house. My mother took the ashtray from the table, as she smoked at the time, put it across my head, and then she kicked me in between my legs, put me down on the floor, and that's when I realised that I can't take this no more, and I jumped up and I went for her, and I realised it's my mother, but I did swing after my father. Any other questions? Yes, young lady. My mother tried to reach out to me on my 50th birthday, and she rang me and she said, Brian, why are you not speaking to me? And I went, really? She said, yeah, why are you not speaking to me? I said, there is no point in this conversation going on because you don't even know the reasons. And if you choose to ignore it, then I will continue ignoring you. So, there you go. Anybody else?
What do you train as? What do you do?
I'm a personal trainer. I basically do bodybuilding, weight loss, toning. I train athletes, motorcyclists, motocross, you name it, footballers.
What athletes have you trained?
What athletes? Not anybody you would know. It was before your time. Yes?
Have you met any famous footballers?
And Jermaine Jennis is a good friend of mine. And there's a few players. My agent is a football coach, but he also takes on pro football players as well. So I've met a few. Anybody else? Yes?
Are you still in contact with musicians?
Only one of them, the one who used to get the good ideas like me. My younger ones I don't speak to at all. And I'm very happy about that, by the way. So, last question.
How come you don't speak to your younger sister?
Because they was a part of the cycle that I went through. They used to cause the good ideas and they always protected their mother. Basically, oh, you should not speak, you should speak to your mother, you should forgive her, blah, 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 blah. They didn't go through what I went through. You know, and because of that, I've decided just to I need to block it out. You know, I was 46 when I actually went and seen somebody to talk about my problems, and it was a lovely old lady at the age of 65 who took me through counselling for 8 weeks. And she really helped me take that brick wall, because that brick wall was there. Every night I used to wake up, sweats, shivers. My wife would say to me, look, you can't do this to yourself anymore, you need to go and speak to somebody. And it took me that long to go and speak, because there's that many stories you've not heard of, not even a third scratch the surface of what I've gone through. But that counsel lady, I'll never forget her. She really helped me to overcome and actually come to this day and talk to you guys. Last question, no more.
How many kids you got?
4. Samantha, Tiffany, Ruben and Fraser. Samantha's 34, Tiffany's 30, Fraser's 23, Ruben's 21. My grandson is 1.
How old were you when you got married?
How old was I when I got married? Okay, 25. 25, I'm on my 3rd marriage now. But we're not going to that one. But thank you very much for allowing me to come. Hopefully it's made some impact. Guys, alright, I haven't finished yet, please. I hope it's made some impact and make you think and make you realise that there is the opportunities for you out there. Excuse me, young lady. Hello? There's opportunities for you out there. Just don't make the wrong choices. Try and make the right choices. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.